Alright guys, today we're going to take a mostly perfectly functioning Pioneer head unit, cassette deck, whatever you call these things, and take it apart and find out if I need to do anything in here, because it kind of works, but it doesn't work. I might as well inspect the belts and stuff while I'm in here, and I'm going to take it apart to clean it. First of all, I'm going to eject my tape. Okay, so that seems to be working. I'm going to pry up on the top cover here. All right. There are these little nubs on these tabs that kind of hold the whole top together on top of this, and that's how you pop them off and gain access to the interior right here. I've never seen the inside of one of these things before. I'm 32 years old. I grew up with this technology, but I never really I wasn't old enough to tinker with this stuff. And by the time I was, you know, these have gone the way of the dodo. This is like reversed, forward. They all trigger these arms and they move around with these springs. That's the ejector, and that seems to work pretty well. It's actually fairly clean in here. It's not too bad. I mean, it's old electronics, you can see. Okay, that's cool. There's a shaft down there to this physical fade knob, left and right, and it actually turns something in there, left and right. Now, I don't know the terminology of any of this stuff, so if I'm calling it the wrong words, I don't know. Too bad. Deal with it. Let's figure out how to get to the head so I can actually clean it. When you insert a tape, it collapses down and it pushes it into the little spinny things to turn the tape in one direction or the other. And you press eject, it pushes the whole thing back out, and that's how it works. Okay, so the head is on this side. Ah, I see. I'm not sure if that's a healthy, clean looking head. It has some streaks on it and whatnot, so I'm gonna put some acetone on that and see if I can wipe it off with a cotton swab. There's also a few little tiny things of looks like foam that deteriorated from the cover and just kind of fell in there. Let me see if I can clean that stuff off too, or blow it out at least. I'm also inspecting the rollers that would be on this part of the tape too. They look pretty clean. I've seen some videos on where they get gummy and they get kind of stuff stuck to them, but those look pretty good. They're nice and smooth there. Alrighty, I got some acetone in a little baby food jar. Appropriate place for it. Wipe off some of the excess so I don't have too much, and let's give that a go. Oh man, I guess this was very dirty. This is what it looks like off of the swab. Roll it over to a new side, try again. All right, there's a bunch more gunk removed from there. The wheels are free rolling, but they're a little bit dirty. Not too bad. Get that head one more time, because it might be able to get that a little bit better, because it's still dirty looking. Let's see. Yeah, it's pretty good now. Okay, now I gotta figure out how to access the belts on this thing. The belts are probably underneath. It sucks because I don't have a manual for this thing. All right, so there's a screw down there, there's a screw down there, there's a screw there. Okay, it looks like I see 4 main screws on the body. Front cover probably has to come off by poking off these tabs. And poking in this tab over here. Okay. Oh, it is attached to that ribbon right there. I don't want to remove it because I hate reattaching ribbons, although that one looks like it's just plugged in. I'm going to see if I can get away with doing it. Okay, I can get away with doing it without removing the ribbon. Okay, so this should just lift right out. Should. Might have to get this cable out of the way. Okay. Oh man, it's sealed. Okay, this is the belt right there. The belt actually looks pretty healthy. I'm actually gonna leave that alone then. I'm not gonna take this apart any further because I don't have to. Looking inside, all the electronics in here look pretty healthy. All the capacitors look intact. None of them look like they're blown up or anything. So this is pretty good. Okay, let's put this guy back now before I mess anything up. Pretty simple piece of hardware. Let's put these things back through the holes. Ah, okay, so this must be the reset button. Oh, I probably shouldn't have done that, but all right, whatever. This was the fader knob, left and right. So it's cool that this had a quick fade knob, because I know there's a button in the front that also changed like your left and right fade. Make sure the tabs go on right. All the stuff goes back in the right way. All right, test functionality. That looks good. I just noticed while I was closing this up, there's a date code right here. It says 23rd of September, 1992. I don't know what S2 means. S2 might be like Series 2, Season 2, I don't know, summer. I have no idea. But it's pretty safe to say that this radio unit is 30 years old. 30 and some months, since we're in February now. But this is an old piece of tech. It still works pretty well. The FM works. The tape kind of works. I mean, it's not playing properly. I got to figure that out. Looking right here, you could clearly see where all the foam is kind of deteriorated and kind of stuck onto the wiring and the board right here. That's just where there was complete contact of the foam kind of pressed up against that piece. I don't know if it's from rattling from the heat or something, because I know on this side it gets pretty hot. I'm gonna leave that there because the contacts, they all look pretty shiny. All those pins look really shiny. I'm not gonna mess with this. I feel like I should probably put a little bit of lube here, but I'm gonna leave that alone for now because this still works pretty smoothly. All right, you know what? I'm gonna put a little bit of lube right there. So that ejector thing can slide a little bit smoother than it does. Oh, look at that. So I just see that there's some wear right here and it's completely dry. That's why I'm just dabbing a little bit on there. I'm gonna confirm operation again by putting a tape in here just to see what it does. Oh, okay, I see. That slides the whole white thing back and this pops it back out. Okay, so I'm gonna lube this whole thing a little bit. Probably just drag what I have there across. Probably would have helped if I just cleaned the surface first, but oh well. I'm gonna cycle that tape in. Okay, yeah, the release of the tape is a little bit better now. I don't have any signals because the stupid antenna cable is too damn short, so I can't connect it when it's like this. But you can hear the sweet sound of static on the left side and the right side. There's a source thing here, so I can change like balance left and right. If I go all the way right, it's still the same volume as left. And I'm gonna go all the way left now. The right stops just like as it should be doing. I have both my speakers detached here. I'm gonna try troubleshooting it this way. This says it's 4 ohms on my speakers. Double check that they're working properly with my voltmeter. Basically 4. And we're gonna do this one too. There it is, 4. It looks like both speakers are okay, at least in this case. I'm gonna swap the speakers. That's probably the way I'm gonna go about doing this. This was the one on the right side. I'm gonna bring this over that way. I'm gonna plug this one in over here. It's interesting how much like wire they gave me to do this stuff. This is the right side. It puts out just as much static as the left side. There's absolutely nothing coming from that right speaker here. I switched to speakers, so the problem didn't follow the speaker. That means it wasn't the speaker. I guess it doesn't rule out that it's the wiring. All right, who would have thought it was so difficult to find some place that could repair stuff like this? I mean, nowadays it's 2023, nobody probably uses this stuff, so it's difficult. The thing was, every electronics like repair shop that I called locally were all like computer or phone repair places. Understandably so, because nobody repairs anything else now. So I contacted all the old people that I might know and asked them, hey, do you know somebody that knows how to fix this stuff? Oddly enough, the recommendations I got for like an actual shop that would fix this stuff would be like, nobody knew what the place was called, nobody knew the guy's name or whatever. It was like, oh, there's this Vietnamese dude, he's across from the AutoZone over in Dorchester or whatever, like stuff like that. I was just like, okay. And then a different friend was like, oh, find the Moldovan restaurant, and then it's the Russian dude that's across the street. So you end up going on like Street View to find some place. Also, one more was it's by the Middle Eastern place, but you go down the road. It was like this house that's on the side of the road, just kind of by itself. Just odd stuff like this. I was able to get a hold of one of them by phone just by looking at Street View and turning myself around from the location. And he told me they don't work on these things anymore because they're unable to get parts. Understandably so. Yeah, you can't get the parts. You probably don't want to work on it. But I thought it was this knob, but I'm just an idiot because I didn't really pay attention to what it said. It says fader F and R, so it's front and rear, not left and right. So every time I turned it to the right, of course, it would kill the front speakers. Of course. Duh. So a knowledgeable stereo guy I got to speak with. Yeah, he was one of those old guys. He told me about the azimuth. Yeah, I looked it up and I'm like, okay, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I don't know if you can see it on this camera there, but you can kind of see right there, there's a screw. There's one that's exactly the same that's right on this other side. I can get a screwdriver in there and adjust that. What that does is it moves the head that comes onto the tape. It just might be a little bit misaligned, and that's why I'm unable to get sound on one side on the right speaker. On a cassette tape, there's that little magnetic band that goes across. There are 4 tracks on there, left and right, on front and back of the cassette. And that's how the sound works on this guy. If there's 2 readers like my fingers here, if it's a little cockeyed or offset or not touching, it's going to be unable to read that other track of sound, and that's why I don't have sound on my right side. So what I'm going to try to do before I try to contact more places, because I think this is more of a simple fix. They just have to adjust the azimuth here. That way it can just make contact. If it doesn't fix it, I'll try to find professional help. Maybe the Russian dude, maybe the Vietnamese dude. I don't know. I don't have a way to properly power this thing on my table or anything. So I'm gonna plug it into the car and observe how the head works and then go from there. At least the head is on the driver's side and it's not gonna be too difficult to get at, theoretically. Let's find out. Alright, so I'm poking a little bit further in here. I'm trying to troubleshoot some of this stuff. I loosened the screws on the azimuth there. I didn't physically move, like I couldn't do anything with it. I played with both sides, doesn't do anything. So, since I don't know what the hell I'm doing here, I'm just gonna poke further. What I've learned so far from what I could see is the head, this particular head doesn't move. It looks like it just has 4 channels on it and the thing just magically knows which one to read from. There's a ribbon that goes to the head and there's a whole bunch of like connections on the ribbon. So they all end up on this right here, this plug on the top. The white wire here controls the left speaker and the red wire controls the right speaker. I can hear the speaker go pop, pop. And if I do the right side, just right, the right side will also pop. Just if I make a little tap on it. Probably can't hear that on the camera though. If I ground this on the frame there and put this probe on the left speaker, it gives me that voltage, 2.96, something like that. And then if I go to the right, you can hear some static coming out of the right speaker. So, and this shows 2.96. So voltage is getting here. Now I'm gonna stop the tape. There should be no sound. Is there still voltage here? Ah, the voltage is nearly 0. It should be the same on the red one. Yep, it's more stable on the right one. The head is reading something on the right. So further troubleshooting, I don't think the head is out of alignment. I don't think there's anything wrong with the cassette part. Now I gotta trace where this wire goes into the unit somewhere and figure out if there's like a broken connection or something. Now I'm back over here, taking the cassette deck out of the unit here. Not really taking it out, I just kinda need to move it to see where the wires go. See what's going on, you know? Do I know what's going on? No. Looks like that wire goes right into the plug there. That means I should probably look at the board on the underside. So all the wires look intact. Alright, I guess that's it for this thing. I'm not going to go any further than this because I'm not comfortable with taking it apart any further. It looks a little bit difficult figuring out how the board comes off. It looks like there's actually like physical tabs that are bent to hold the board in. I see that one screw. I don't want to mess this up. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Oh yeah, there's another one right there. You know, honestly, it might just be a few little things. I also saw this Alps switch. I don't know what that does. One side says Alps, and the other side says 2020. Says something with the 2. I looked up some of these chip numbers to see what they do. This particular one right here is like the Toshiba chip. It's like a preamp. This one is, I already forgot what that one is. Anyways, it doesn't matter. It wasn't, it has nothing to do with that. So I'm gonna find one of those dudes that know what they're doing, and hopefully, if I beg them enough, they'll take a look at it and decide whether or not they can fix it. I'll show you if it works. Otherwise, you know, I'll just have one channel on one side forever. Thank you to all of you that have sent me tips, and I'll see you next time. My oil drain fitting has arrived. Now I can do it. It's somewhere in here.